and for the month of January, and there was 2,700 submissions, including one from your department, Minister. The plan has fundamentally changed on foot of the submission that came from your department. And what I'm seeking in this, seeking through this question, is that there would be a provision to go back to the drawing board and put it back out on public display, in order to give people an opportunity to comment on the plan, not on modifications to something that is very different to what they saw.
Minister Coveney, 2 minutes.
The draft Celbridge Local Area Plan 2017-2023 was prepared by Kildare County Council and was placed on statutory public display between the 13th of December and the 3rd of February. In my capacity as a statutory consultee to the Local Area Plan process, I made a written submission to Kildare County Council under Section 20 of the Planning and Development Act 2000, as amended on the 3rd of February. In my submission, the Council was advised of certain objectives of national planning policy and ministerial planning guidelines that the draft local area plan must be fully in accordance with. The Council was requested to address a number of highlighted issues in a subsequent material alteration stage of the local area plan process. The decision to alter a draft local area plan that has been on public display is a reserved function of the members of the Planning Authority concerned under Section 20 of the Planning and Development Acts. And if the members decide that amendments are appropriate, then the amended draft local area plan must go back on display for public consultation. The report of the Chief Executive of Kildare County Council on the submissions received on foot of the public display of the above-mentioned draft local area plan has been issued to the elected members, and the report will be considered by a future meeting of the Planning Authority. Should the Planning Authority decide to amend the draft local area plan as a statutory consultee, I will be circulated with the particulars of such material amendments, and I may make a further submission to the statutory process. I don't think it's appropriate for me to comment any further on the matter pending the completion of the statutory local area plan process under Section 20 of the Planning Development Acts 2000 by Kildare County Council.
Deputy Murphy, 1 minute.
Just say, Minister, I'm not asking you to comment on the substance of what the changes are, but I just tell you that there's about 6,500 houses in Celbridge that have been developed over decades, and the proposal is to add another 3,200 houses to that over a 7-year period. Now, the town is already struggling from the point of view of social and physical infrastructure, and that's a huge amount to absorb over a very short period of time. People were asked to comment on that, and they had very serious, a serious number of contributions to make. But what they looked at and what they're going to see is radically different because of the submission that, and I've read the manager's report, and the submission that really has shaped the changes, which has shifted 1,400 units from one side of the town to the other. Without commenting on negatively or positive about whether that's a good thing, is it fair that the public are asked to comment on something that really is radically different to what is under consideration by the members on foot of obviously the submission that happened to come from your department in this particular case?
Minister, 1 minute.
Yeah, I mean, some of the concerns that you're outlining here, Deputy, I think were probably shared in my department, and that's why in our submission in the draft local area plan was considered to require amendment to ensure that proper spatial development of the town with respect to established public transport infrastructure and also greater certainty over the delivery of new housing development in tandem with the required supporting infrastructure actually happened. And so the Council was requested to provide for the relocation of appropriate zoning of housing lands on the south-eastern environs of the town in the vicinity of Hazelhatch train station. And they were also asked to provide an implementation and infrastructure delivery schedule in the local area plan, which ensures that new development is clearly phased on the basis of the timely delivery of identified new strategic infrastructure for the overall town. So, I mean, we have inputted into the process and it's up to the local authority to make sure that they abide by the legislation after that. But if you'd like to talk to me afterwards in detail about it, I can.
Deputy Murphy, final supplementary from
I can understand the sustainability argument in relation to how people, in relation to transport, but there's other issues of sustainability in relation to the quantum of new houses in an area that's already struggling from the point of view of infrastructure. Can I just predict if the quantum goes ahead as it is, it actually won't be realised because of the constraints. And I think that there's it gives the impression that something can be done that isn't done. But I will take the opportunity to talk to you afterwards about it, Minister, because I think it's an unsatisfactory process from the public's understanding and buy into a planning process, because this is the real opportunity and probably the only real opportunity that they have, and particularly now that the changes are going to happen in relation to all housing with over 100 units being decided by Embora Pleanála. Thank you.
In accordance with standing orders, the short supplementary.